and welcome back to Noka One. I know it's been a while. Today we are doing more book reviews while cooking because if audiobooks have taught me anything, it's that life and the things you love require multitasking. So today we're making wraps for the week for just quick grab food stuffs. Also healthy options. I was going to make sushi, but then the grocery store didn't have the stuff I needed. So, and we are making wraps using keto-friendly tortillas. So yeah, and don't judge me. Anyways, let's see. And I've already washed my hands in case you're wondering. All right, so first book that we are going to talk about today is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, which somebody just rolled their eyes really hard, and we're going to get into that. So anyways, this book is not about, hey, get rid of all your stuff. What it is, hey, this isn't about stuff, it's about you. Which is what stuff in and of itself is as well. Not necessarily stuff, but sometimes it's a statement about you. Why do we have it? Why we keep it? Why we have so much of it? Why we refuse to have some stuff. And I think that's what about this book bothers so many people the way it does, is that they have to make an honest effort with themselves. Like, you know, there is literally no more unflattering mirror than one that shows you everything and you can't hide from it. Which your stuff will do that. And going through your stuff to decide what to keep and why you have it and this, that, and the other is going to make you have that conversation with yourself a lot. You know, and not everybody's ready for that conversation. Not everybody's brave enough or willing or able to have that conversation. You know, and so rather than admit that, they lash out and want to sneer and make fun of the book or this, that, and the other, or the woman who made it. You know, and it's just like, yeah, that reflects you, not the book or the content. And forgive me for sneezing, or not sneezing, sniffing, allergies, and cold medicine and everything like that. I've had a cold for like 2 weeks. It's sinus infection and a cold, and I'm all sniffy, even though I'm taking Dayquil and this, that, and the other. But all my produce and stuff is washed. My hands are washed. You're not eating this anyways, so shut up. Where was I at? Oh yeah, it's not about throwing away all your stuff. It's a conversation with yourself about, you know, hey, do I need this? Why do I have this? When was the last time I used this? You know, am I keeping it out of a sense of guilt or loyalty to something that once made me happy but doesn't anymore? Like, say, merchandise, fandom stuff for, like, say, Supernatural. It's like, I used to like the show, and I used to like these characters, and I still love these characters, but I don't watch this show anymore, and I don't wear this. I'm just keeping this out of a sense of almost loyalty and obligation, so we're getting rid of it. You know, and that, or either it's a gift that somebody else gave you that you keep it because you're afraid it would hurt their feelings, but okay, would they really rather you have something out of a sense of obligation and guilt, or because it makes, you know, you happy? I was like, nobody wants you to keep something that you gave them because they feel guilty. I'm like, no, if I ever do that, please, by all means, throw it away. I'll throw it away for you. You know, don't do that. Please. I don't ever want to become a source of stress for you. Is the process of getting rid of stuff and throwing it away and putting your life in order quick and easy? No. No, it's not. Is it fast? No. No, it's not. Is it a one and done? No. No, it's not. Is it sometimes baby steps? Yes. Is it not being able to do stuff the first time you try it and then coming back and ultimately being able to do it later? Yes. Yes, it is. Because sometimes you gotta make peace with stuff. Because it's new and different and hard. I mean, come on. You know, but have I ever regretted any of the stuff that I've thrown away? No. In fact, I couldn't tell you most of the stuff I've gotten rid of. Some things I remember I got rid of, but only the fact of the relief that came with getting rid of it, because of the fact of usually it represented something more than it itself being something that mattered. And I don't need a physical thing to give value to something that's more of an emotional thing. You know, and is the joy of tidying up like, okay, do you end up keeping stuff that you don't need? Yes, yes you do. Again, this book is not about, hey, get rid of all of your stuff. You know, it is about basically get rid of the stuff that doesn't make you happy. That's not essential and doesn't make you happy. So, you know, I've got essentials that, of course, obviously you don't have to ask yourself about, hey, do I need this? Does this spark joy? Carrot peeler? No, it doesn't spark joy, but you know what? I freaking need it, so I don't need to have that conversation. You know, that kind of stuff. And you have idiots who just want to sneer and be stupid, and it's just the fact of, yeah, the problem is not the carrot peeler, the problem is you, and you're not ready to have that conversation with yourself. So, Marie Kondo is not the issue here. You definitely are. You know, but I've got other stuff that, do I need it? No. Do I use it? No. You know, does it spark joy? Yes. You know, and it may be, I've got a, it's called a junior dictionary, and it's a dictionary for kids. And then I've got another book that's also for kids, and it's My First Bible. Like, that's what it's called. It's My First Bible. And I have these, and will keep these, because of the fact of they are not something I'm going to pass down to somebody else. You know, like my kids or this, that, and the other. Not that I have any or plan to ever have any. But that they're the only thing I have from certain people. Like, that's the only thing from them or of them that I have. I'm not getting rid of that, you know? And every time I see it, you know, I think of that person and I smile. I'm like, that's sparking joy, FYI. That's the whole freaking point. You know, as opposed to something else that you have that you just have. And it doesn't make you happy, and all it does is take up space. You don't use it, you don't need it, and all it does is take up space and cause you stress. Because of the fact that you have it, you don't need it, you don't use it, all it does is take up space. You feeling me on this one? You know, and do I really have to go through every item that I own asking myself, hey, does this spark joy? No, you don't. You know, which of course the book outlines at the very beginning the fact of that, hey, this book is not about, you know, essentials. You know, this is not about, hey, does your hairbrush spark joy? Probably not for most of us, but we need it anyway, right? Right. You know, it's about the fact of, you know, do I need this? Do I use this? You know, and that kind of stuff. So whereas your blow dryer and your carrot peeler, you're not going to need to have that conversation about does this spark joy? Do I need this? When was the last time I used it? Blah, 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 blah. Because you know you are in fact going to need it. You are going to use it with some regularity. You know, meanwhile, your smoothie maker and your curling iron, you might need to have that conversation about. And it's like, when was the last time you used these? How often do you use these? Could somebody else actually be using this, and would they be using it, whereas you're not? You know? Conversations got to have with yourself. And again, not everybody wants to have that conversation! Because that conversation is with yourself. And it requires you being honest with yourself about a whole lot of stuff. Not everybody's ready for that, or wants to do that, or is comfortable with that. That's why they avoid therapy. So, I laugh, but am I wrong? Anyways, and Roxanne, get out of the kitchen. This is not for you. Get out of the kitchen. Out. Make me get a squirt bottle. You know, and if you're one of those people that looks down on something, like I said, and sneers at it, it's probably because something in that speaks to you and you're not comfortable with it. You know, and it could be not just this book and the fact of that, hey, I've got too much stuff and I need to get rid of it. It could be, hey, this piece of media that other people like and is really popular that I actually probably would like but don't want to admit I'd like because it doesn't fit up to an image I want to meet, or somehow clashes with my prejudices and views and things I need to address with me, or the fact of, hey, I was in the wrong somehow, and rather than basically admitting it, I'm just gonna double down. And it's like, no, okay? Be willing to admit you're wrong, learn and grow from it. There's no shame in that. There's shame in not being able to admit you're wrong. There's only shame in not being able to admit you're wrong. That's the petulant kind of attitude you expect from a child. But the process of basically going through all your stuff and getting rid of stuff is also going to address a lot of personal issues with you and, you know, anxieties and traumas that you have that make you the way that you are. Which again, a lot of people are not ready for that conversation with themselves because that's not easy. You know, for personal reasons, some people have a tendency to hoard like items or clothes or foods to stock in the pantry and stuff. And so, you know, addressing that is not a fun or comfortable conversation to have with yourself, you know, and you'll hold on to things for just in case, or you might need some inevitable, very specific future circumstance. You know, whereas in the likelihood is that's not going to happen. And meanwhile, somebody else could be using that thing. And then should those circumstances magically all come together, like, you know, the planets aligning, will that thing either work anymore, be in fashion anymore, or do what you need it to do anymore? You know, like, I'm holding on to these clothes until I lose weight. Alright, well, my mom's been holding on to clothes that she'll get back into once she loses weight, that she's been holding on to the same clothes for like 20 years. So, you know, meanwhile, she ain't getting back into those. I know it. She should know it. She ready to have that conversation with herself? Nope. Have I tried to have this conversation with her numerous times? Yes. Can you make these decisions for someone else? No. No, you can't, unfortunately. You can try to gently have it with them, but not for them. In which case, because again, you also can't see into somebody's mind. That's why this whole thing is a very personal conversation that you have to have with yourself. Because somebody else may look at my junior dictionary or my first Bible and want to throw it away because the fact of you don't need this. You're right, I don't. I don't. But it is the only gifts I have from the people who gave them to me. It's the only thing I have of them. I don't even have pictures of these people. But I have those 2 small books. So, touch them and I'll break you into multiple pieces, twice. You know. And it's like, so, this is, again, not something you can do for somebody else. It's only, unfortunately, something you can do for yourself. Which, again, being known is a terrible, terrifying thing. Whether it's being known by someone else or being seen and known by yourself. You know, that's why people avoid it and like to paint pictures of how things are that aren't, because it's more comfortable that way. And then sometimes you have other things that you have to work up to because you're just like, no, I can't, no, I like this, you know. And then the more something sits in your brain, and sometimes you have to let stuff sit in your brain pan for a while, the more you warm up to the idea. Because just because you're not actively thinking about something or doing something, your subconscious is working all the freaking time, unfortunately. So it keeps therapists in business. Then you may warm up to something like with me, getting rid of all these framed pictures in my house and putting them in the photo albums. At first I was like, no, I like those. I like the, I like having pictures out and, everything like that. Except the fact of, you know what? The more I think about it, I don't really appreciate the pictures when they're sitting out. It's always more fun to get the photo albums out with the family and, everybody looks at them and talk about them and laugh and this, that, and the other. I don't know, the last time I looked at a specific picture that was sitting out, unless I was dusting it, and I wasn't actually looking at it. I was just glancing past it or around it at the dust. Whereas with photo albums, it's a specific effort to sit down and enjoy something. So, I read Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and I really enjoyed it, obviously. And it's a really good book, and it's very helpful. And it's not overly complicated. Like I said, it's literally just about having a conversation with yourself, and then Marie Kondo breaking it down into tried and true method of basically, so you don't be like, okay, well, where do I start and get overwhelmed? Okay, this is the best way system that I found that works for me, and is how I advise everybody. You may eventually find a way to adapt it to you, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. In a way that works better for your life, this, that, and the other. But to get started, so you don't get overwhelmed, I've broken it down for you. This system, this way, this, whatever. I love sriracha mayo, but it's a pain to have to refill. And somebody may do this a way from a different way than me, but it's so much easier. Please teach me your ways. But anyways, when it comes to doing this, you can do this any way you want. Legit. That's what makes it so great, is you can just make it out of anything. Like you can make sandwiches out of anything, you can make sushi out of anything, you can make anything out of anything. That's what I love about food, it's so easy. Alright, so in case you're wondering what the crap I just did, I just put a whole lot of mayonnaise into a sandwich baggie, and then I squeezed it out like icing. Ta-da! It's full. Good enough. If for some reason you decide that's not orange enough for you, just add more sriracha. What's funny, and by funny I mean kind of sad, is my mom actually thought I had an eating disorder when I was younger, because I would just sit there and eat lettuce leaves, or celery, like I was a freaking rabbit, and she were like, I'm worried, and I'm just like, I like the crunchy. It's just like, I'm a very simple person. It's crunchy and it tastes nice. I like the way it tastes, the same way other people like other food that's unhealthy. They like the way it tastes and the way it crunches. Same thing, mine's just healthier. And to this day, I still think of that a lot when I am eating any of my healthy snacks. Because she actually got on my nerves with how much she started watching me and hovering, being worried about that I actually had an eating disorder, and it was just because I was eating healthy. She's like, well, are you sure you don't want popcorn? And I'm just like, no, I'm good, thank you. It's greasy and I don't like the way it gets on my fingers. Or potato chips? No, thank you. It gets all over my fingers. She's like, here, let me make you this. I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it, but I'm good. It's like, I get you're trying to be protective, but you're getting on my nerves. You know, and there's not actually a problem. In which case, you may have noticed from my talking points when it came to the life-changing magic of tidying up, or Marie Kondo, is the fact that I like to read negative reviews on books that I really, really liked. Because a lot of times, the review says a lot more about the reader than it does about the book. And it's like, in which case often what it says is the fact that the book is not the problem, you are. Especially when it comes to like queer media and stuff like that. And then you just hit the report button all the way down. Doesn't help either that these aren't perfectly rounded, because my cat is an asshole. My cat likes bread way too much. It's unhealthy, and he's not supposed to get it anyways, but he somehow magically always manages to do so. And so I had gotten this stuff out and was preparing to come in here to make the video, only to come in here and my cat has eaten a good portion of the tortillas. And those he hadn't fully eaten yet, I had to cut the edges off of. Because he's an asshole. Again, these don't have to be neat or pretty, as obviously you can tell, because they're all going to end up unpretty when you eat them. Ugh, I feel like garbage. My caffeine is wearing off. This stuff is definitely going to have to finish being made tomorrow.